Yo, what's up? My name is Patrouski, and welcome to PokeMMO Stream Recap 526, your daily source of tips, tricks, information, news, communication, and discussion. Everything regarding PokeMMO every single day can be found here, and it can be found live Monday through Thursday at 12 p.m. ET over on Twitch and here on YouTube. Let's go ahead and jump into things as per usual. We have a lot to do today, a lot of progress to make on the Ironman account. If you don't know, my life has been revolving around preparing for the upcoming Shiny Wars within PokeMMO, at least the hopefully upcoming. We haven't gotten news on it yet, but I'm pretty hopeful that we'll get news in the next week or so. Honestly, hopefully in the next few days. Last year we got news on Shiny Wars on June 18th, so I'm looking around that time frame. Not necessarily exactly, of course, but around that time frame to keep an eye out for any news or updates. And if it doesn't happen this year, that surely would stink, but don't worry, we'll find plenty of other things to do. I have plenty of other goals that I put off for Shiny Wars, so I'm honestly not going to be... I'll be a little miffed, but not too miffed to enjoy the game. Let's go ahead and actually jump into our catch events for the day. We have three pretty major catch events coming up. Obviously, one catch event today as well with that Poliwag catch event. There's about 3 to 4 catch events hosted every single week within PokeMMO, often giving away free shinies and free premium currency. If you want to hear about them, the two best ways are either my stream recaps or checking the PokeMMO official forums. So both those resources, whatever works best for you. This one's today at 2 p.m. ET in Viridian City and Kanto. You have 1 hour to catch Poliwag, Slowpoke, or Gyarados for these species bonuses and nature bonuses on screen. I want to get through this a little bit quicker since you guys can't even participate in it today if you're not in the watching the live stream. Shiny Poliwag is up for grabs today, plus that 1000 RP. And then now coming up in the future, we've got 4 catch events in 5 days. We've already done 1 catch event. We're doing another catch event today. There's 2 more catch events this weekend. Lots of catch events recently, dude. Friday the 19th of June, there will be a Nidoking and Nidoqueen themed catch event. It'll be at 2 p.m. ET on Friday, Route 3 in Kanto. You'll have 1 hour to catch Nidoran males, Nidoran females, and Mankeys for these species bonuses on screen, plus nature bonuses of +5 for Adamant and +5 for Modest. We're going to scroll down and see the prize here. The prize is being a gift shiny male Nidoran or a female, depending on which one you want. If you want a Nidoqueen, make sure you get the female. If you want a Nidoking, make sure you get the male. It's really important because with gift Pokemon, you cannot rebreed them. So the one you pick is the one you're locked into. That's why I make it a big deal out of it. So make sure to pick the one that you actually want the shiny of for life. Moving on, there's also an Espeon catch event coming up on the 20th of June, this Saturday. So catch events on Friday and Saturday. This one is at 11 a.m. ET over at the Ruins of Alpha and Johto. You can catch Espeon, Dratini, Natu, Smeargle, and Quagsire with these nature bonuses on screen. There is a non-shiny prize for this one, so a good chance for Ironman to potentially go win some free reward points heading into Shiny War or potentially even event season down the line. We're pretty far from event season, thankfully. We have a lot of time to prepare, but if you're an Ironman, it's one of those things like you want to start talking about now. I think if you're a main account, you don't need to start preparing for event season until like August would be my suggestion. But if you're an Ironman, I would start preparing probably pretty soon, which is crazy, but that's the life of the Ironman, is preparing well in advance, especially if you didn't have last year's event season prepared. If you're an Ironman who did all of last year's events or most of them, you have a lot less to do. You've already put in the groundwork, the foundation. If it is your first time doing an event season in PokeMMO, look forward to it. It's a big deal. There's always big, exciting content, updates, ways to make good Pokeyen, vanities, all that jazz. But anyways, this Espeon is 6x31 IVs. If you want it to be, you might want to go 0 attack to dodge important foul play damage on certain Pokemon. So maybe go 5x31, and then whatever nature you want, whether you want to go timid, modest, or bold, you can go to a few different things on Espeon, if I recall correctly, plus 1000 reward points. Next up, our daily item market check. This is a pretty interesting one in my opinion, and kind of a hopeful one, man. One of the best investments in PokeMMO history, and it's crazy because it's one that I got entirely wrong. I was so wrong on this investment. Okay, Mysterious Cherish Balls. This is the first ever Mysterious Cherish Ball 2024. That was the first year they put out Mysterious Cherish Balls, okay? If I recall correctly, Mysterious Balls first released in 2023, but this was the same year because it was Christmas introduced the mysterious Pokeballs, Great Balls, and Ultra Balls that year. And I think maybe Premier Balls as well, if I recall correctly, were all in Xmas 2023. So this was in the same event season, even though it says 2024. So this was that first year of Mysterious Balls ever existing. And I remember personally, I was not a huge fan of Cherish balls because of the Pokemon inside them, because of the price, because of the shiny rates. And I said, you know what? I think people are going to be so interested in the other mysterious balls. I said that I thought Mysterious Great Ball 2023 and the other mysterious balls from 2023 were so good. Why would you go for Cherish ball? And look how, I mean, I was right in the sense that those balls have also done very, very well, but oh my god, I missed out. And this is a good example of, I try to show people, I've made a lot of good investments in my career in PokeMMO. I really have. I've also missed a lot of investments or made bad investments. It happens. That's any market, that's any game. The best you can really hope for, if I can be like 60 to 80% correct in my investments, that's really good. That's what I kind of aim for, right? So Mysterious Cherish balls. I remember when these suckers were 50k a piece during the, even 40, I think they were 46k at the lowest. If I recall, this was years ago now, 3 years ago. God, time has flown by. I think they were 46k or so during their lowest bottom out price. I remember not being interested in them at that price. And they slowly rose from 46 to 52 to 60k to 90k by April of that year. Within a few months, they had more than doubled in price. And I thought, wow, what a crazy increase. Surely they'll stop there. Nope. 150k by August, 180k, 108 October. By October, they were 180k. They come back down. This might have been during the first Shiny War, actually. That might have been during the first ever Shiny War. Or was that 2024? No, that was 2024. Wait, no, that makes sense. No, that makes sense. Yeah, these price spikes were during the first ever Shiny War. That makes a lot of sense. When we didn't know Mysterious Balls wouldn't be that good. Okay. So then you see it drop then after official wars, come down to 115k, 120k, spike back up a little bit, kind of have this little fluctuation period. So they've been anywhere from like 130 to 180k at this point, but now boom, September, October of 2025, they just go up to 250k for some reason, 200k, come back down a little bit, go back up. And now we get to the modern day where they are kind of going up and rising consistently. And Mysterious Cherish balls nowadays are anywhere from 200k to 250. This is a pretty big spike, so I want to take that with some leeway. I think it's about 200k to 250, somewhere in that range, which is just absolutely nuts. I mean, they were as high as 290k, it seems like, yesterday, but that feels like an inflated price. So I don't want to quote that as like a permanent, price stabilization. This is nuts, man. This is for them to be 46k and then be around 250k. What is that? A 5 times price increase that I just totally missed. It's one of those woulda, coulda, shoulda moments, but it's good to reflect on. It's good to see what I got wrong and how I missed out on the investment opportunity. I think a big thing that happens in PokeMMO, and I've talked about this, but I didn't listen to my own advice. The Lunar New Year event ends up being one of the events to invest in within PokeMMO because people don't budget well enough. And it's difficult. And also it's a video game, so who really cares to do that, right? But most people will, or they burn out. Most people will heavily prepare for the Halloween event, the Christmas event, and by the time we get to the Lunar New Year event, months and months and months later, many players have run out of funds. They've run out of investment money. They've burnt out of the game by playing the event too much. And now, so there's less players and less money by the time we get to the Lunar New Year event. Almost every single year. It almost always ends up being one of the best events in the game on average, but obviously that's a hard average. There's a lot of, make your own investments safely and with your own judgments, because there's a lot of nuance there. But I would say on average. And I didn't listen to my own advice, and I messed up, and I should have put some of my extra money, whatever I had, into Mysterious Cherish balls. But you live and you learn. It's a good lesson to reflect on, a good item and market to reflect on and see what I got wrong when analyzing that. Next up, let's go ahead and get into our achievement showcase. We have a pretty good achievement showcase, in my opinion, today. Let's go ahead and see Bucky's, who I think, didn't you just win a catch event? If I'm wrong, correct me, but if not, congratulations. I think this guy just, or someone with a similar name in game, just won a catch event yesterday. It's cool. PokeMMO as a community, we're at that size where I can still recognize people via their name in game, from catch events, from my Twitch chat, from my Discord achievements. Like we're small enough to be recognizable and feel like a small town in that positive way, but then also big enough to have a functioning economy and also have parts of the game you aren't aware of at all. Like the auctions I mentioned yesterday, so it's a really cool, we're at a very cool size, in my opinion, in PokeMMO right now. You want to appreciate each size as we grow, and there's different positives and negatives to each level. Anyways, he talked about, wasn't sure where to post this. This is the place to post it, man. But talk about a coincidence. I caught a Suicune on the same day in back-to-back years. And here are those Suicunes. He caught one in 2025 on 5/23, and then in 2026 on 5/23. Also like 3 hours apart. Dude, that's sick. 9:23 a.m. to 12:43, like noonish. Like a 3-hour difference. Dude, that is really fucking cool. Congratulations, gamer. That's a very, very cool little coincidence. Next up, Logan. First PvP shiny. Been shiny hunting on and off since Lunar New Year for Gyarados/Weavile. And after 50,000 encounters, finally got themselves a shiny Sneasel. And they bred it up. They bred the stats up. Cost them about 10 million Pokeyen, they said. They got it to be Jolly Nature, 30 attack, 31 speed. Very, very well statted, man. Very good Pokemon here. Hopefully you can get some good use out of it, dude. Congratulations. I really respect people who like put the time and money into their shinies. That's not something I like to do a lot. I like to just catch my shiny, move on to the next hunt. But I really respect the gameplay style of putting a little bit of extra care after the catch. I think it's really, really cool, man. Congratulations to you, dude. And then next up, Myclo President got himself a secret shiny Hoppip while hunting Moltres. Talk about I love shiny Hoppip as well. You can evolve it as like Hoppip is underrated shiny in my opinion. Skiploom is fantastic. Jumpluff is obviously, everybody loves Jumpluff. That's the obvious one, but just every option is fantastic in the whole line. And a secret shiny version of it, dude, shows that you didn't just time slice horde for it. This is a perfect secret shiny. This is the exact kind of Pokemon you want to randomly run into as a secret shiny. So congratulations to you, President. Next up, shiny Starmie. Dude, glorified slob got himself a shiny Starmie while hunting at Route 45. I don't know if he was legendary hunting, going for Quilava. People go there a lot for like Quilava, Starmie's there. But also, you can see the group of 3 Starmie. I'm pretty sure that means he was popping to premium lore. I don't think there is any other way to get ×3 like swarms or hordes of Starmie like that. I think that means he was hunting with premium lures, which is pricey. So I'm glad to see you actually got a reward from it, man. It's pretty rare you see a premium lore shiny, so congratulations to you, man. Next up, we're moving into the spicy stuff. Shiny Soul Silver. I got my first egg shiny while taking a small break from stream to go cuddle my cat. That's an important detail. I missed the egg hatch animation, came back and said OMG like 100 times at the top of my lungs. It's possible, guys. Never give up. 46,000 encounter shiny Charmander. If you cuddle your cats or your pups, whatever it may be, you will get shinies. That's what this has taught me today, okay? Now, the final achievement to show off today, and this is a whole ass story. This is why we play MMOs. This is an arc. This is a legend. This is the legendary tale of the Mount Coronet Phoebus shiny hunt. Today, I finally got my first rare shiny. I wanted it to be a real challenge, so I decided to shiny hunt Phoebus and Mount Coronet. When I started 5 months ago, the Coronet community was basically non-existent. This is true from my understanding. Coronet's only become a viable spot as of recently. It was only me and Rena, and even though we weren't the first people to ever hit Phoebus there, we pretty much pioneered the shunting location together. Eventually, my friend got her purple fish while I was sitting around 30,000 total Phoebus encounters. So from that point onward, it became a solo Phoebus shunt. And that makes me even more proud of this achievement. It definitely wasn't easy to keep going after phasing 5 times, which were all the same Pokemon, Gyarados by the way. But after finding around 900 Phoebus tiles and reaching 58,000 total Phoebus encounters, the game finally decided to bless me with a shiny Phoebus. Shiny hunting is all about patience, consistency, and refusing to give up even when things seem impossible. To every shiny hunter out there, never give up on your goal. It might take you a long time and you might start to think the game hates you, but your moment will eventually come because persistence is all that matters in the end. That's exactly why I'm taking my talents to Team Uxie. I love this. God, I love this so much. Congratulations to this guy. Just so fucking cool, man. So fucking impressive. So beautiful. I love stories like this. And let's show off a little bit more of the details, okay? 5 shiny Gyarados phases on the way to Phoebus. This spot is evenly split-ish, almost evenly split, between 3 Pokemon. To phase the same Mon that many times is revolting. And to go 61k, 51k dry on some of those shunts is insane. This encounter counter log. 324,000 total fishing encounters for Phoebus. 324k fishing encounters. If I'm not mistaken, you don't use chum buckets at Phoebus. Maybe you do at Coronet. I'm honestly not totally sure. But if you're not using, if you don't use chum buckets, at Phoebus, the math is 324,000 encounters divided by 220 encounters per hour. If you don't use chum buckets there, I believe that this is the amount of hours. 1,472. I believe that is the amount of hours that this would have taken. Fishing shunts are intense. This is by all means a rare of all rares. This is a beautiful, beautiful shiny hunt. Congratulations to the gamer, dude. Congratulations to them. A legendary tale of Mount Coronet proportions for the shiny Phoebus. Congratulations to you, Navane, and congratulations to Team Uxie on another legendary tale. Hell yeah. I've been playing PokeMMO since 2022, and I think Johto release was peak PokeMMO. I've been playing since 2013, and I could not agree with you more. I also agree. Like, it's funny that, like, I also agree. I think Johto was... And as someone who had played other region releases, I played Unova release when it came out, you know, but no one was like streaming that back in 2017, you know. We were just talking about how I think a lot of new players don't always have the perspective or understand how PokeMMO has released a new region every few years consistently. The game started as only Fire Red. The game was only Fire Red. It was only Kanto back when it released in 2012. And they didn't add Hoenn until around 2015, 3 years later. And they added Unova in 2017, and then Sinnoh in around 2019, and then Johto in 2023. And I can confidently say I think Johto's release in 2023, because we finally had streamers, YouTubers, content creators. I also love the era. I agree, Josh. 2013 to 2016 is peak nostalgic PokeMMO to me. I love that era, but I think the peak time for the game overall and as a community, like, I love that era. It's my favorite era, Josh. But Johto's release was fucking magic, absolute magic. And I think we'll reclaim that and we'll get that again. And it's one of those things like you can't keep that up. It's one of those things like the reason it's magic is because it's rare, because it's special, you know. I'm not sitting here like, oh, current day PokeMMO stinks. I like current day PokeMMO. Are there some problems that I have with it? Absolutely, but I still fucking love it. It's still the best Pokemon game by far, in my opinion, and it's still a great time for beginners and new players to start playing. Having said all that, Johto's release was magic. The devs and staff being super active, all the streams, everybody, like, because it was... Johto's storyline was amazing for hardcore players because of Mount Silver and the roaming legendaries being added and all the details, and it was amazing for casual players who just want to play a new storyline or want to play it on their PokeMMO accounts, or it was just amazing for everyone, right? And it was at the perfect time because content creation was really starting to take off back then. How many subs did I have on YouTube when Johto released? I would guess between 30 to 50. I don't even know if I was at 50, like 30 to 40k, 30 to 50k, maybe in that range. I'd have to go check my stats. I don't actually know. It was a long time ago, you know. Man, Johto was special, and it was everybody. It was perfect for everybody, and like things like the roaming legendaries. We didn't know they added the roaming legendaries until someone encountered. I believe it was a Suicune was the first one. We didn't know they secretly added roaming legendaries to the game and didn't tell anyone, didn't include it on the patch notes. That was one of the coolest things the PokeMMO devs ever did, dude. Same with secret shinies. It wasn't until someone completed like someone speed ran Johto and then did some single encounters and randomly was like, what the fuck, I found a Suicune. Is this real? Is this a glitch? Is it a bug? People didn't know. It, like, discovering stuff like that in live time is really, really special. I'm curious. I think there's a really decent chance we see a gameplay update prior to Shiny War, and it does make me a little nervous. Historically, updates right before Shiny War have been a little sketchy at best, and it's very scary to try to disrupt that balance right before a big event. But I also think it can be refreshing and fun and exciting to try to discover something before. So I'm hopeful. I'm skeptical a little bit of an update before, but I'm hopeful it'll be like a new shiny hunting method like they teased at. Would be probably pretty freaking fantastic depending on the method. So I'm hopeful for Shiny War news in the next week or so, and potentially a whole new update to shiny hunting would be really, really exciting. Yo, I got my friend back into the game recently who played in 2014. Do you think he has anything worth anything? Very, very possible. Especially if he has like 24. I love to collect 2013 and 2014 competitive Pokemon, which were really like semi-comps, but back then they were like, you know, comps to us. It was harder to get good Pokemon back then, and we just didn't know as much. It's very possible. It depends what he has, obviously. Especially like if you played in 2014, there's a decent chance you have 2012 and 2013 Pokemon. 2014 Pokemon don't always go for a lot unless they're people's specific OTs or semi-comps or good IVs. 2012s and 2013s are the main collector pieces when it comes to vintage and retro Pokemon for sure. I don't talk about this a whole lot these days because I'm playing the Ironman account, but I love talking about the vintage Pokemon market in PokeMMO. It's so interesting. It's very, very comparable to like old Pokemon cards, like base set Pokemon. Wow, a 2012. So we see I'm glad I checked. We see very, 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 very few. There's almost never these days. People bought them up. There's almost never any 2012 shinies these days. A 2012 shiny just got listed 14 hours ago, 175 mil. Damn. And the cheapest 2012 these days is around 150, 180k. It's a lot of the Safari Zone mons. I would say back in the day, like one of the main pieces of endgame content was just going into this. I'm rooting this Jimmy run, but whatever. Going into the Safari Zone and looking for chances. Back because it was always about catching lucky eggs back then. Lucky eggs used to be the currency. I think it was either because Pokeyen either wasn't tradable or the cash stack limit was like 50 or 100k. There was some weird reason, I forget exactly why, but Pokeyen was not the currency that we used. We didn't buy and trade things with Pokeyen. We used lucky eggs. And lucky egg, like, it was like one lucky egg would be like a shiny Tentacruel, you know? It was pretty valuable. They were very, very rare. I hunted Chanseys a ton back in the day and I never got a single lucky egg. They were incredibly, incredibly rare. All right, shout out to Xanarchy, who just shared this Battle Tower team he's been like working on. And dude, it's funny, we've talked a lot about Battle Tower this week for whatever reason, or over the past 1 or 2 weeks. And it's because it's a really cool piece of PVM content that is super unexplored, in my opinion, within PokeMMO by both the players and the developers. I think Battle Tower has a lot of potential to be a regrindable PVM piece of content that's really engaging, interesting, that can also give really good rewards if they buff the rewards. Look at this Ninjast. This Ninjast only has dig to dodge attacks. It's only there to like dodge things, right? To be underground for like 1 turn. It has Sunny Day to set up for Eruption Heatran. The substitute and protect. This Ninjast solely exists to just dodge and bait attacks from the NPCs in Battle Tower. That's so interesting. Like, this is such a cool Battle Tower teams are so unique and so cool, man. This is a very fucking cool team to me. I'd love to run something like that. I want a Heatran on the Ironman account so bad. That is such a cool team, Zan. Thanks for sharing, Xanarchy. Okay, I actually love that you brought this up now. You said, I'm surprised more people don't shiny hunt for an egg shiny and try to like break even, aka like breeding up IVs instead of just like breeding shittos with like Charmanders over and over again. I'm surprised more people don't like breed up like a good like a 5x31 or a 2x31 Charmander or whatever and try to sell them and make some profit, right? You can breed for rare shinies and make some profit along the way. It just takes way longer. It adds so much time to line up all the breeds, you know, buy the braces, all that stuff, right? But I do think that since over the past 2 years, the cost of egg shunts have pretty much doubled, not doubled, but almost doubled over the past 3 years. Egg shunts used to be about 120 mil. Nowadays, they're about 180 mil. They've gone up dramatically due to the prices of dittos and everything of the like. So with cost of hunts going up and the time it takes to do them going down, because now we have 8 incubators as opposed to only hatching 5 Pokemon at a time, as well as the buffs like being able to make breeds from the daycare man as opposed to having to go. There's been like a ton of buffs that have buffed egg hatching by like over 100% over the past few years, right? And breeding was buffed by like 100%. The time it takes to breed Pokemon was buffed by like 100%, and the egg hatching was buffed. So egg hunting has been buffed 200% in speed over the past 3 or 4 years. You have to have that perspective because that is fucking crazy. With that in mind, about with the guesstimation numbers. With that in mind, I think it is more worth than ever for people to maybe start considering, you know, trying to breed stuff up like that, for sure. I agree with you, but if it costs 0, how much extra time? I agree. The question is, how much extra time does it take to farm that Pokeyen? I will say most people doing egg shunts aren't farming Pokeyen by doing gym reruns every day, and maybe a little bit, you know, but most of the money, when you're dealing with that amount of Pokeyen, 150, 180 mil, most of the money made from gym for egg hunting is made from investments, flipping, like breeding for profit, like people making hundreds of thousands of Pokeyen per hour, or even millions, like in terms of like time per work, because you could do a shiny flip. It's people who have a bunch of, you build up the flow of wealth in PokeMMO, which everybody can do. That's the beauty of PokeMMO, is we're all born in Pallet Town. Everybody can do this. Where you're born does not matter. It's beautiful, right? You grind your Pokeyen up, you build your capital, you then use that capital to make more Pokeyen, right? PokeMMO is absolutely a rich get richer game. That's pretty much every MMO, but anybody can get rich, and that's the beautiful part of it. Like, that's like a lot of time and effort, but anybody can do it, even though it is a rich get richer game. It is 100%. The more Pokeyen you have, the more capital you have, the more money you can make. It gets you, the more you make, like your first 10 million Pokeyen is the hardest, and then it gets easier and easier and easier as you have more access to capital to do things like flipping and stuff like that, right? So you can buy a shiny for 2.5 mil, sell it for 3.5 mil, make 1 million Pokeyen on that flip, and that might have only taken you 15 minutes, but you have to wait like 2 to 3 weeks to get that Pokeyen. You know what I'm saying? So they're like, when you're dealing with that levels of Pokeyen, like the time it takes to earn the yen is kind of up in the air. It's hard to calculate. You know what I'm saying? But all of this being said, getting back to, I ramble so much. My initial point, or your initial point, I agree with you. I think that more people maybe should consider trying to breed for a rare shiny like a Charmander by breeding up some IVs. I think it's honestly like, since egg shunting has become so expensive, I think it's more viable than ever to do that. Whereas like 2 or 3 years ago, I would have been like, no, don't do that. It adds so much time, it's not worth it. But nowadays, you know what? Like, it's so expensive, maybe that's a valid option, and it adds some time to it. I think it's a cool thing to consider. Cool option. Alrighty, fellas, we have catch event results for the Poliwag one, and it's a bit of a doozy. In 4th place was SR EdV with 19. We had someone in chat who had a 20. I think Owner 905 had the 20. Lost by 1 point. I'm sorry to hear it, man, but don't want to take away from the congratulations over to EdV. Congrats on 4th place with 19 points. 3rd place is a 175. That is an incredibly high score for 3rd place. To Kalios, also with only like plus 10 species, plus 5 species bonus, plus 5 nature bonus. Like, that's a really, with only 1 nature possible. 175 is incredibly high. Congratulations, dude. Wow. 2nd place, Mondays, am I right? That's the one from chat, I think, as well. Someone in chat had a 177. Dude, crazy high score. Getting 2nd place with a 177 is fucking criminal. Oh no, someone had a 170 in chat. Semtex had a 170 and didn't even place. What a brutal event, dude. 177, 2nd place. A 180 point 1st place. IGN Random Battles. Amazing, IGN. Congrats on 1st place. A 180. That was either like a 170 Poliwag with the correct, like, adamant or whatever nature it was. Timid. It was timid, I think. Or a 175 Poliwag. That is a crazy catch, man. Congratulations to you. Whew. That was a, like, really competitive. People wanted that shiny Politoed. That was an extremely competitive catch event, guys. Thanks to everyone, as always, for people who participated, and good luck to everyone in future catch events. They're a great way to be involved in the PokeMMO community and have a chance to win some crazy overarching prizes. Congrats to everybody, and good luck in the future. This was a serious event, yes. But alrighty, fellas, that's going to be it for me today. I hope you enjoyed the stream as always. Like it if you did. Subscribe for daily PokeMMO videos. I do upload every single day. Follow me for streams Monday through Thursday at 12 p.m. ET. Discord's down below if you're interested in that. I will be not live, to be fair, this Thursday. This Thursday, June 18th, I will not be live. I will be live for the catch events Friday and Saturday, most likely. But updates will always be in my Discord, link down below. If you want to go above and beyond and support the content, allow me to be here, allow me to put time into this and do this. YouTube memberships, Twitch Primes, Twitch subs, and PayPal and Venmo donations allow me to do this. So thank you guys for letting me do it. Let me make guides, stream content, do upcoming Shiny Wars. I will see you guys later. Have a great day. For now, fellas, peace, Arena. Yo, what's up? Outro Patrouski here, and I wanted to say thank you so much to everybody's name who is on this list. You really allow me to make the content that I do every single day, and I hope I can make it worth your guys' while and add to your PokeMMO journey. Thanks again so much for watching the entire video, and have a great day.